This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
This is Optimal Work Daily, the anchor of procrastination, how dragging your heels weighs you down, by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. There may be a few perfect employees out there who have never once dragged their heels on a task, but I doubt it. While procrastination is nothing to brag about, we all do it, some more than others. Sometimes procrastination seems reasonable, when work is scarce and efficiency will put us out of a job, when we fear a backlash for being too efficient later on, or when our personal circumstances force us to cut back to a more realistic workload. Sometimes, though, the self-imposed anchor of procrastination stems from more unworthy factors. We may hate a task, find it difficult, or simply want to duck the responsibility. Other factors holding us back can include workload, fear, inertia, lack of self-confidence, uncertainty, perfectionism, distraction, excessive time pressure, high frustration levels, and negative self-talk. Notice I didn't include laziness in that list. While motivational deficit disorder does sometimes contribute to procrastination, I've found successful, hardworking people to be among the worst procrastinators. They are so busy being busy, working on their day-to-day operational tasks, they quote-unquote have no time to focus on strategic priorities. Regardless of the cause, however, procrastination always generates anxiety in the long run, creating a negative, paralyzing feedback loop. Rather than wasting time twiddling your thumbs or staying busy to hide your lack of productivity, take these steps to banish procrastination from your work life altogether. 1. Control your fear. Fear serves a legitimate purpose to protect us. However, when you find a task unpleasant or difficult, you can't let it stop you in your tracks like a mountain lion would. In many jobs, you'd never get anything done if that were the case. Imagine working as a homicide detective or a zookeeper for carnivores. There are some jobs that are truly scary. But most fear is irrational. Fear of failure, fear of running out of work, or fear of social disapproval. These fears shouldn't prevent you from pushing forward with a task. Indeed, some people have observed that nearly every cause of procrastination boils down to one fear or another when you get right down to it. Perhaps the task itself may seem huge and fearsome. Fortunately, you are the master of your emotions, and no one or nothing can make you feel any certain way. It's up to you to conquer your fear, whatever form it takes, so you can forge ahead successfully. How can you do that? 2. Visualize the outcomes. On one hand, you have positive reinforcement, which helps you succeed by emphasizing all the positive outcomes of taking on and accomplishing your task. On the other, you have negative reinforcement, which dwells on the depressing consequences if you don't. I prefer the former, but if the latter spurs you on, then by all means go for it. Do you want to lose your job, lose your house, and be a bag lady living under a bridge? 3. Focus on the positive. As for positive reinforcement, think about how great it'll feel to finally conquer the hurdle blocking your path. Not only will you not have to worry about it anymore, now you can spend that worry time on something productive. Maybe you'll even get a promotion for accomplishing your task when no one else could. It doesn't hurt to be a little lavish in your visualization if it helps you, quote, screw your courage to the sticking point, as Horatio Alger used to put it. Bad things just fester when you ignore them. Most of the time, a yucky task doesn't just go away. It won't do itself, and you can't assume someone will do it for you. Get moving, or the anxiety will keep eating at you, devouring your energy and time. 4. Strategize. Take a little time to lay out a plan for getting the task done. You may find it easier to break it into smaller subtasks, each with its own due date and milestones. You can add each subtask to your to-do list and keep chipping away at it until you've completed it all. Think of building a wall with each brick as a subtask. It may take a while, but you'll eventually finish the wall if you keep at it. 5. Eliminate distractions. We clever humans have a tendency to let our labor-saving devices take over our lives. They're like appendages, with us wherever we go. We have an obsessive curiosity about what's happening out there. In addition to all this, you have to deal with other people bugging you, as well as their technology breaking your concentration. Slip that electronic leash and block out the distractions. Turn everything off. Close your door or go somewhere quiet to hide if you absolutely must focus on a task. And 6, get busy. Motion beats meditation. Once you've collected the facts and resources you need to do the job, take the bit between your teeth and run. Even if you only make it a short distance the first time, every time you work on the task, you'll cut down on the space between here and there, and those efforts will add up. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Tell yourself you will focus until the buzzer goes off, and do not click off your screen. Stretch the time periods 5 minutes at a time until you can focus for 45 minutes. You'll discover nothing blew up while you were actually getting work done. Tenacity. Although we tend to make a big deal about talent, what really matters in work as in the rest of life is tenacity, the old stick-to-it attitude that pushes you through to completion. Talent without action is worthless. In many cases, action alone can result in great success, as long as you pair it with basic competence. So stop thinking about that task and just get to work. Every job includes some disagreeable chores, so even if you can't stand what you're doing at the moment, find a way to tolerate it. As the old song goes, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. At the very least, getting an unloved task done will put you closer to being with the one you love. A little creative avoidance. You may discover that no matter how you try, completing your top priorities just isn't in the stars. Rather than give up and go play words with friends, divert yourself into creative avoidance, i.e., work on smaller tasks that still have some value even as you duck the big task. Here are some suggestions. Go through your master task list and delete things you'll never do. Clean up your computer hard drive and desktop, deleting and organizing files. Look at next month's calendar and think about what's coming up and what preparation is required. Clean up the paper piles on your desk and clear your filing pile. Restock your office supplies and straighten your surroundings. Catch up with industry reading. Check in with team members and get the status on delegated items. Water your plants. You get the idea. I'm not a fan of procrastination, but at least creative avoidance accomplishes something. Sometimes all you need is momentum. Once you've boosted your confidence by crossing a few items off your list, you'll probably find it easier to reel in that anchor, latch onto one of your bigger jobs, and start making progress. Low-value tasks may not matter much in the long run, but at least they can help you prime the pump for your real work. Where angels fear to tread. Now that you're revved up and ready to go, a word of caution. Don't leap into the fray without considering all the consequences. You'll still need to think about your next big thing long enough to cover every angle and make sure you have everything you need. But once you do, don't hesitate. We can examine the reasons for procrastination from this side of eternity to the other. And in the end, it doesn't matter whether the reasons we come up with are legitimate or just excuses. Either way, you've hurt your productivity for no good reason. Ultimately, you just have to force yourself to get to work. Face down your subconscious and stop sabotaging yourself. In the classic words of Larry the Cable Guy, just get her done. Then eat a piece of dark chocolate to reward yourself. You just listened to the post titled The Anchor of Procrastination, How Dragging Your Heels Weighs You Down by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off select styles. Rules and restrictions may apply.
I think I just won my taxes.
Yeah?
I just switched to H&R Block in about 1 minute. All I had to do was drag and drop last year's return into H&R Block, and bam, my information is automatically there.
So I don't have to go digging around for all my old papers to switch?
Nope.
Sounds like we just leveled up our tax game.
Switching to H&R Block is easy. Just drag and drop your last return. It's better with Block.
Thank you to Laura Stack, the Productivity Pro. She is an award-winning keynote speaker and best-selling author of 8 books. Her engaging personality, combined with over 25 years of experience helping organizations achieve results, have made her one of the most sought-after experts and keynote speakers in her field. We feature her work frequently on Optimal Living Daily since that show covers productivity, so you can hear more from her there as well. Just search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you're hearing this to find that show. Now, Laura has been featured in the New York Times, USA Today, the Wall Street Journal, Entrepreneur, and Forbes magazine, and she's been a spokesperson for Microsoft, Danone, 3M, Office Depot, Xerox, and many more. There's so much to learn from her, and you can come by theproductivitypro.com for a lot more. She's got her videos, books, store, newsletter, and blog all there for you. Again, that's theproductivitypro.com, and thank you so much to Laura for letting us share her work today. But I think that does it for today. I appreciate you being here and subscribing to the show, and have a great rest of your day. I will, of course, see you back here tomorrow, and that's where your optimal life awaits.